good with skill shots, right? Okay,
Yep.
if you really want to utilize, of course, your barrier power ward, you would want to make sure that you're really going to be blocking off your targets, or especially if we're talking about an Arlie that is very mobile, can actually just, you know, avoid. And even, of course, the latest update coming from with the Arlie as well, wherein, of course, the Maple Dance can block off some range damage as well. So let's see about that, because we are going to be heading on to our game one already. This is the best of one match between Impunity versus Vivo Kid Stars.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the laning stage, especially on the Dun and the Mai Shiranui. Let's see what sort of early aggression they can get. Maybe early invades into the jungle. Maybe to shut down the Mayin, we'll see the Dun rotating up towards the top a lot. But that's where he's going to start off with, trying to give the Dharma a good start, get him that level advantage, and then just allow the Dharma to do his own thing against the Mayin. Because Dharma's stronger in the early game, while Mayin does pick off after the level 4 stage.
Yeah, that's so true, and I'm pretty understanding here, like, as to how aggressive it is right now for Impunity. They've got more early game heroes in here, such as the Dun. You really want to take advantage of that, so I like the aggression that they've done in here. But I think what they need to be very careful of later on is once the power spike is already on the Kaiser. What, he got the level 4 already, his ultimate invincible warrior. Gotta be careful on that one. But we see a Tossle in here into the bottom lane part of the map. I don't think there's gonna be full commitment as of now.
No, definitely not. I mean, Xiaolin is almost level 3. That's when he's strongest in the lane, being able to have all his skills up and running. That's when it's almost impossible to shoo him out of lane, except if ganks do come from the Kaiser or from the Lady Zen. So until then, this Long will be very... He'll be a lane bully, making sure that the Arlie cannot go close to hit creeps, and he'll be able to excel his farm pretty quickly. But you know, Danny, early on, we're not going to expect to see too much of a rotation from the Kaiser. He doesn't have a lot of setup, he doesn't have a lot of stuns, he needs to rely on his teammates a little bit, so we might be seeing at least another minute before Danny actually does anything across the map.
That's true. Well, then he meets the Mai Shiranui just to say hi here and there. You're right. I mean, Kaiser definitely not the one to set up team fights. We gotta wait either the Lady Jen or the Zhang Fei for them to do that setup. For the meantime, you can see a super low HP Zhang Fei in here. Gonna be the first blood from the hands of Black in there in the middle lane. What a good point for coming from Impunity, but that's a roamer, so I think there's still a moment for the Kisar to actually catch up onto the golden spot. You can see an invade happening here, coming from the side of Impunity, just disrupting in here. Danny on his jungle.
Yeah, managed to take away the Crimson Golem buff away from Danny, which is going to slow down and annoy Danny a little bit. Not the end of the world, of course. This is the early game. Danny probably wasn't expecting to get anything done in terms of setting up kills, but it does take away some of that gold and also gives Black a good start as well. So all in all, Impunity is off to a great start, I think, but let's see if they're able to keep this up once the mid-game stage and once the power spikes of VKS starts to reach, because we're almost at level 4 there for the Zhang Fei, as well as mainly the Zhang Fei as well as Liang. Liang's already level 4, so we might see VKS start to pressure across the map. Maybe on the first Tyrant is where they're looking for the first fight.
That's true. I'm also actually looking forward to Zero in here, getting that pick off onto one target. Could be one or Wise Sasser in here, or Arlie and the Lady Jen. You know, at least to remove all the main damage forces coming from the side of VKS. But again, the rotation coming from Kaiser in here. They potentially would want a sandwich really this long. They don't want this long to actually get this power spike.
Yeah, they're putting 5 members here, but they catch up with Lady Zen towards the back line. One's gonna fall. That's the Mai Shiranui for you. The burst damage. Mai going towards the back line, almost getting a kill. But will he pay for his life? Backlines though. White Sasser in trouble, but he'll be able to back off.
And here we go, continuing with the team fight. However, Long is actually preheating onto the backline, deleting more member coming from the side of VKS. You know what, I was just actually mentioning a while ago, okay, we hope the Mai Shiranui Shero will actually be able to pick off a target. Apparently, he was the one who's actually picked up first.
Yep. Still, a 2-for-1 trade does set things up nicely there for the side of Impunity. We talked about it in the draft. They needed a good start. They needed early snowball to get their heroes going. And they can't take the game too long. So that was as good of a start as you wished for. I mean, one falling that quickly. The burst damage was huge. Unfortunately, they did lose X0, but 2-for-1 trade, they're gonna take it any time of the day.
Yeah, that's so true. And there you go, the free hit again coming from Shaolin in here from the back line, seeing that from our highlight replay. But then again, there goes, of course, the calm once more. Gonna be waiting for another objective to be taken in here. This is 2K goalie that definitely VKS needs to catch up onto, because they can't give that further power spike or more golden farm going to Shaolin. Shaolin have yet to actually go down, maybe onto the hands of Sasser in here, into potential team fights that could happen later on. But for the meantime, what are you seeing in here? It seems like we're seeing Kaiser just looking for team fights just like this one. Will they be able to get the Maishin and the win? For some, not very mobile, but yeah, I think Kaiser in here, Danny will definitely have to look for the proper team fights to go on to.
Yeah, it's not easy for the Kaiser this early on. Invincible Warrior only lasts a couple of seconds, and his items aren't complete yet. He doesn't have the sort of items he needs to really play and force in the back lines. Pops forces Mayna to pop his ultimate, which is a great win there for the side of Impunity, because it means that the moment they take the next fight as quickly as possible, there's not going to be a Zhangfei ultimate.
That is so true. No ultimate from the Zhangfei in here, and Danny actually going so low, still being chased down, but will be able to survive with a slither of health. But then again, the rest of the members of Impunity in here will just go try to invade the jungle camp of VK as well. There's actually another job being done by Arlie in the bot.
Yeah, but they get the tier 1 mid though, which is super important to control both the main jungle objectives and as well as the both golem buffs. That is a trade that Impunity will take any day. That mid tier 1 tower going down is going to set themselves up and also pressure VKS quite a bit, because Danny right now, even if he's trying to get that Azure Golem, he needs his teammates around him, because you never know when the invades from the side of Impunity are coming. While on the other side, Impunity, they can just do anything they want on the map because they have control in the mid lanes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this Kaiser is quite dependent on the Azure Golem, but getting pressured here and there at the same time with the Mayna getting his ultimate propped as well as Zhangfei. Team fights couldn't happen anytime soon. But for the meantime in here, we can see the engage coming from the side of VKS. They're getting mad on the side of Impunity, killing off Ashen in here in the process. But I love the cross-map play being done by Mai Shiranui. Shero on the bottom lane part of the map, taking down the tower once more.
They lose one hero, but they did manage to get the Overlord, and they get the tier 1 tower bottom as well. Like you said, that's gonna be staving off the bleeding. Losing one hero is not great, but not the end of the world, especially if you get something else done across the map. So Impunity still keeping their lead. It's 1,500 gold, still a decent spot at this point. But the next upcoming fight is going to be very important, because that will signify whether if Impunity is able to extend the lead or will VKS crawl back. Because the next fight in the 8-minute mark for the next Tyrants will, in my opinion, probably decide the game.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we're about to close the mid-game time. Come late game, we're talking about Shadow Overlord, which of course gonna help you in terms of lane pushing, and at the same time, additional buffs coming from the Shadow Tyrant as well. And of course, if we're talking about late game, they do have that. We're talking about an Arlie in here that can actually go deal further damage from their side, and maybe the potential for an even tankier Zhangfei, which can go for more setups later on. But I think, you know what, Impunity is doing a good job so far in proccing this ultimate coming from the Zhangfei.
They've definitely been forcing his hand and forcing VKS to not favorable fights, but this Tyrant's gonna be important. Rotations 5, all 10 heroes are hitting towards the bottom. It gets taken down there by Danny. That's a good start, but VKS win this fight.
Impunity Black will fall down onto the hands of the members of VKS, and here we can see a free heating Assassin in here at the same time. And in the bottom lane part of the map, Mayin just had that 1v1 up against Ashing in the bot, forcing them to back away. Seems like somehow we can see the money in here, the gold gap in here is actually decreasing, and it seems like Vivo Keystar is catching up.
Yeah. Definitely. So only 1,000. It's actually a 1,400 lead right now, and that's off the bat of as well as of getting the Tyrant and getting a kill on towards Black, because Dun is one of those heroes that just falls off. But hey, we talked about pickoffs, that's a kill, instant kill there on towards Niap. He's one of the more important heroes there for VKS towards the mid and late game stages. So any pickoffs you can get like that is going to set yourself out very nicely. So Impunity, that was a good job getting that kill. Definitely unexpected there for VKS.
I mean, we were talking about Megumi on a Liang and Cheryl on a Mai Shiranui. That's too much CC you have to deal with. There goes the stun, of course, coming from the Liang, the control power word, and of course the kicks here and there coming from the Mai Shiranui as well. So that was quite unfortunate for Niap, though, not able to survive on that. But we can see the rest of the members in here coming from Impunity wanting to contest the Tyrant right here already. I wonder if there's gonna be a steal in here coming from the side of VKS. Good way to actually stop them from that, but I think something's happening onto the bottom lane part of the map as well. Where Zero actually fall down. The comeback play, you killed me a while ago, I'm gonna get you. But for the meantime, Sasser will actually fall down onto the hands of Ashing in here. The rest of the members of Impunity wanting to continue this fight, but they said, Dharma, well, I will just go onto the middle lane, try to find another target, maybe flank on 2-1, but then again, with the protection coming from Zhang Fei, that will not happen.
Yep, Ashing getting the opening to go for the early. That was an instant fight win there for the side of Impunity, and they get a lockdown here as well on towards Niap. Niap's gonna run away, barely surviving, able to heal up just in time. And that was Niap, just having to, thank his lucky stars there. Oh, Reina in trouble. He might get bursted down, knocked out, pops the ultimate, able to survive.
Yes, good use of the ultimate still coming from the Zhang Fei. Bridal outburst just to disengage, but I guess Danny in here cannot go for the 1v2 fight against the Dun, and the Mai Shiranui has to back away, wait for the rest of the teammate to go back alive. Especially Mina doesn't have the ultimate available, and they're basically scattered across the map right now. So in a way, somehow I find the rotations kind of disorganized. I was looking for more aggressive team fights as well, coming from Mayna at the same time. I mean, during the draft, we're talking about, okay, they are so good, they can definitely go for that setups, but we're not seeing that happen cleanly as of now.
Yeah, they're playing a bit defensive, but here, Dun taking a lot of damage. Black almost falling there, but able to back off just in time. But that also gives the opening there for Vivo Keystars to go for the Shadow Overlord, and this fight might not be what Impunity wants right now. The heroes are not here, but let's see how it goes.
Oh, let's see how we go indeed, but Niap actually just pushed away the Mai Shiranui right at the back. Who's gonna get the steal? And there you go, Ashing will actually steal that objective in favor of Impunity right now. And the rest of the members in here, however, 3 members from the side of Impunity already has fallen down. Sasser is all alone on the side of VKS. Now 1-for-1 right now remaining for the rest of them. But again, Impunity stole that objective. Okay.
Yeah, that was huge. I mean, they got 4 kills there. They did lose 4 heroes for themselves. It ended up with a 4-for-4 trade, but with the Shadow Overlords, that's gonna push out the lanes quite a bit. The Vanguards have already spawned. The bottom tier 3 tower down to half HP already. So, all in all, they got almost 2,000 gold lead just from that fight. And let's take a look at how it went again. Huge pickup from Danny from the start, and then Asing able to lock down one of those members as well. Sasser barely surviving towards the end, but the long on towards the backlines, way too much damage.
Way too much damage indeed, but I'm actually like surprised, okay? Ended up still on a 1-for-1, but nice steal again coming from Ashing in there. Didn't even have the smite on his side. Usually we would see the 2 smite strategy in here, which we actually can see on VKS right now, but to no afford, still it was stolen by Impunity in here. Well, gold lead still onto the hands of Impunity. It seems like they're not allowing VKS to actually catch up.
Yeah, definitely. They are, pushing their advantage constantly, taking fights with their goal advantage. But, they were definitely hoping for something better than a 4-for-4 trade in the last fight. So this next fight is going to be very important for them to see if they are able to take the lead here. Mid lane getting pressured here from the side of VKS, trying to wrestle some map control back in their favor. The tier 1 tower still very healthy though for the side of Impunity, as they're just angling, just positioning himself across the map, done. Able to back away to safety. The burst damage from Shaolin is starting to rack up there. Reina taking so much damage from the 1-2 combo from Shaolin. So he is starting to do a lot of pure damage, and if he lands one of those lucky crits, he might be able to burst down the Arlie with a single combo.
True, we'll just have to wait if Vivo Kitstar will actually let that happen. But I love the position of Ashing in here when he's just waiting to potentially flank maybe on the Lady Jet. I mean, look at the reach, the potential reach of him on the Lady Jet as well as the Arlie. The moment that the Arlie or the Lady Jet actually go onto that side where Ashing is actually hiding, it could be disaster. It could be the end of Vivo Kitstar. But let's hold up thought because it didn't happen anyway, because Vivo Kitstar you know, just took the right route to just be, you know, safe into the map. Still though, you can see the mid lane tower of Impunity is still standing strong, but Mai Shiranui is actually hiding somewhere in the map, potentially waiting for a pickup.
Yeah, he must try and go for the steal. He low. Invisible Warrior is popping to get the steal. No, Danny gets the last hit, but a fight's about to ensue. Black is already low. He has to back off. And I think that is going to be the end of that fight. That will be VKS taking a quick Tyrant for his team. That's going to allow them to take the next upcoming fight with additional damage. But Impunity, if they are smart, they're just going to drag out the game and play across the side lanes to stall this buff and take a fight after it ends.
Yeah, and I think that's what they are actually doing. Just waiting for this Arlie to get more farm for himself and just wait for the opportunity where they actually have a good formation in the map. Not gonna go on to this part of the jungle wherein, you know, there are a lot of walls and gonna be harder to actually go for that formation. That's all of thought, because we can see Black in here super low in HP getting sandwiched and killed off by the Arlie in here. And there's even further because they are wanting to take the mid lane tower already. Could this potentially be it? But no, they're actually gonna go for this Overlord take as well, as they would potentially want this to help them out in going for lane push.
Yeah, that looks like it was a mistake there from Black, or maybe just miscommunication across the team. He was going, the rest of his team was retreating. Maybe he felt that he was just cornered and had to try and take a fight, but that definitely allowed VKS to get a little bit more of an advantage. Danny spots out Ashing, but able to back off. Just trading damage a little bit for now. Danny's reaching that point where he's starting to become unkillable here.
And I think this is the late game that we are waiting for VKS right now. And look at that, right off the bat, they got 2 towers just right after taking the Shadow Overlord. And now it is a chance for opportunity. It's now a place for Impunity now to try to get a pickup once more while they're actually on the high ground. But let's see about that, if there's going to be any chances for them to see one or Y Caesar in here to be in the map, to be visible in the map, to get flanked by either Mai Shiranui or the Dharma.
If Shaolin doing a lot of damage there to Mena, but that bottom lane is going to be pushed out quite a bit. They will be able to deal with the Vanguard rather quickly, but not before they lose that tower. So now Zhang Fei forced to recall back to base. That's gonna be you without your main team fight control for a couple of seconds. So if this opening is looked out there by Black, they might be able to find a fight here for Impunity. But both teams are still playing very safe right now.
Yeah, I mean, Impunity though, they seem to be taking advantage that non-presence of Mena in the map from a while ago. Now you can see them having that control, but I don't know, they don't also care about the Shadow Vanguards. But hold on, because we can see it here, the fight's happening right now. Unbridled Outburst has been used. We can see one still all alive, and one member will fall down, Ashing onto the hands of Y Caesar in here. More kills going on to Y Caesar, and what just happened?
We are back to even game here, Kaisaya. It's even in gold. The lanes are all pushed out. Both teams are pretty much neck and neck right now, but it's a 4 versus 5. Oh, lots of damage there by Sasser. Has to back off there. One punch there from the Mai Shiranui. Got her to half health, so she definitely has to look out for the damage that the Mai can bring to her.
Definitely, you definitely want to build some way for you to resist all those burst damage coming from the Mai Shiranui. But then again, everyone's almost complete. Could just wait for 2 seconds or 1 from Ashing to be present in the map, then they can go back. And we're talking about the final showdown almost at 20-minute game time, because now this is gonna get trickier, you know, like you really want to get this buff in here coming from the Tempest Dragon. It's gonna give you some true damage, at the same time some shields up for the team fight, and seems like they're gonna be forcing off the team fight right now in here. Megumi is super low into the map right now. Black will fall down onto the hands of Slazer, as well as Shaolin in here. Oh, look at the zone being created by the Jump Fei, and at the same time the rest of the members in here, 2 members left for the side of Impunity right now. Shaolin will fall down as well, and the rest of the members too, and it is a wipe out. This is what VKS has been waiting for. They don't need a Tempest. They know that they have the draft for team fights, and now they take advantage of it, potentially ending this best of 1 round match up against Impunity. So I guess